Hi everybody, welcome back to Tunes Reviews. Today we're going to discuss my Exorcist shirt because it's my second favorite horror movie ever made, right after An American Werewolf in London, which I'm sure you've all seen me wear that shirt quite a bit. I picked up that shirt in Salem. So just a little tidbit for you, you know. In this household, it's Halloween pretty much year-round, but now that we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of Halloween, you know, September is when it starts, I'm going to be wearing some Halloween paraphernalia, so you're just going to have to deal with it. All right? Exorcist, fucking great. Classic. So let's jump into 5 date night recommendation fragrances that I have for you all here today. The price range will go from $50 or less, probably about $40, all the way up to a good old-fashioned $350 per bottle in these recommendations that I have here beside me. Boss the Scent Private Accord is fairly interesting because it contains a Maninka note that's paired with some citruses that comes before the mid and dry down, which contains cacao and coffee and some chocolate, and it's really, really delicious when it gets to that transitionary period between the top and the mid notes on my skin. Admittedly, I don't love the top notes. This fragrance goes for anywhere between $45 and $65 American on websites like FragranceNet or Fragrance X. So this is a dumb reach for me for when I'm feeling like maybe it'll be a casual date night for my fiance and myself. And it is one that I think most people could certainly pick up on the lower end of price range. So I highly recommend this fragrance. I think it's a very interesting and a pretty unique designer fragrance, and certainly one that I think is appropriate for the weather that we're going to be experiencing coming up in the fall and the winter. So coming in at number 5, again, is Boss the Scent Private Accord. Coming in at number 4 is a fragrance that I absolutely adore. This is probably one of my most worn designer fragrances right now, and this is constantly compared to Tuxedo by Yves Saint Laurent. At least in my world, among reviewers, we have noticed that there is quite the similarity between the two. And I gotta be honest with you, sometimes price range doesn't mean anything because I much prefer Moustache over Yves Saint Laurent's Tuxedo. So Rochas has made some classic fragrances in the past, and this is certainly one of them that I think will go down in the books as a wonderful concoction that most people are going to adore. This has patchouli, it has benzoin, it has vanilla, it has amber, and a very prominent rose note. And it's very, very sensual, and it's very, very classic to me. So this comes across as being a classic fragrance, but it also has romantic and modern elements to it, and I absolutely adore this. This is a wonderful fragrance to pick up for anywhere around $40 American. You can't go wrong with this stuff. It's absolutely exquisite in my opinion. So check this out. And again, if you don't want to drop the money on sampling and or purchasing a full bottle of Tuxedo, I actually prefer this, and the performance is better on this, so check it out. Coming in at number 3 is a newbie for me. I picked this up in Toronto when I was shopping with Mr. Rush Durr, who I went to go up and visit, and when I was with Manny as well from Cascade Scents. So shout out to Manny for introducing me to this fragrance because it's absolutely incredible. This is Chanel's 1957. To me, this is a really interesting concoction that consists of classic elements meeting modern perfumery. Olivier Polge did a wonderful job with this fragrance, and I really, really have to hand it to Manny from Cascade Scents for introducing me to this fragrance. It's absolutely divine. It is so sensual on my skin. Even the Chanel sales rep, she had smelled it on my wrist when I was trying to decide between this and Sycamore, which I will pick up Sycamore at some point. But I was trying to decide between this and Sycamore at the time, and she said that she couldn't believe how buttery this got on my skin. This is a fairly effervescent aldehydic top that turns into a very, very sensual and creamy iris, and I absolutely love this. This is a wonderful fragrance for men and women, and I think that if you're dressed up in a suit or at least semi-formally, this is a superb fragrance to pull off, and I absolutely have fallen in love with it. So again, shout outs to Manny and Rush. Thanks so much for such a wonderful weekend, and thank you for introducing me to this fragrance. I absolutely love it. Number 2 on my list should really come of no surprise. It's an amazing fragrance, and people are going to probably grow tired of the fact that I talk about it so much. And it is a modern classic in the fragrance community. It's cultivated quite a name for itself, and there's so much I could say about this fragrance. It's sensual, it's a masterpiece, it's seductive, it's warm and inviting and just probably my quintessential sexy fragrance. This is none other than Frederic Malle's MUSC RAVAGEUR, and I absolutely love this. This is one of my signature scents, but I think that if you're gonna go out or you're gonna cozy up by the fire with a glass of red wine with your lover or whoever it is that you're hanging out with for the night, no judgment here, this is a wonderful, wonderful fragrance to pull out to impress or make a statement. I know a lot of people have grown tired of the narrative that this is a bold fragrance just because I think mostly it's been around for such a long time, but I do find that objectively speaking, this is a bold fragrance. The cinnamon with the vanilla and the clove and the musk is just such a traditionally sexy type of fragrance, and I absolutely love this. So for me, Frederic Malle MUSC RAVAGEUR is a classic. It's a traditional fragrance in my arsenal. As far as I'm concerned, this is always going to be in my arsenal as long as it is in production, and I think that it is one that people should reach for more often in the sense of it being a sensual fragrance. So I highly, highly recommend this for anyone out there that's trying to find a date night fragrance to add to their wardrobe. And finally, my number one fragrance is actually a new acquisition for me, but one that I absolutely fell in love with. I picked this up recently. This is a Tom Ford fragrance, and it's probably going to come out of left field unless you've seen my Instagram plug for my Instagram right here on the screen. There it is, somewhere in that corner, that corner, that corner, that corner. But this is SANTAL Blush by Tom Ford. This fragrance to me is everything that I've wanted in a sandalwood fragrance for the last few years that I've been searching for, like my perfect sandalwood. Santal 33 by Le Labo was a fragrance that I've absolutely loved, as well as Chanel's Egoist and Bois de Ziel. And those are fragrances I've kept in my collection for quite some time now, going on a decade or more, and they're not going to go anywhere. But I've been looking for something else, and this happens to be it. This is absolutely exquisite. This is sandalwood and rose and nutmeg and cinnamon, and there's a bit of a floral element meets a dry woody element meets a creamy element with some spices, and it's just absolutely seductive to me. I absolutely love this, and I highly, highly recommend it to anyone that is looking for a new fragrance for date night. I think that you can dress this up, dress it down, and to me it smells kind of like a warm embrace. It's just kind of like that warm skin element with all of those really fantastic warm spices and that creaminess that comes from the sandalwood. I absolutely adore this. This is a masterpiece to me, and I'm actually kind of upset that I slept on it for so long. So I'm glad that I've got it in my collection now, and I'm glad that I can enjoy it and utilize it now. But for all you out there that may have skipped over this and kind of just brushed it aside, I'd recommend that you check it out. So this is number one for me right now. But all of these selections that are beside me are absolutely fantastic and work very well for those date night occasions. I hope you're all happy and healthy, and you can all enjoy a really nice cozy date night with somebody very soon. Check out these top 5 recommendations that I had for you, and be safe and enjoy. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.
I'm hot.